So we are gonna start for our wonderful Saturday 90 minutes yoga. So we're gonna start standing up and separate your feet wider than the hips. So your toes can point forward or maybe slightly out. It really depends on how your knees are pointing towards your toes when you're standing like this. If you're going into a not a natural position for you, you will probably feel some stretching in your hips, which is great. So you will choose how you put your feet and maybe also explore. So exploring your own body is quite important. When we do yoga, especially if we do it for a while, especially if we do it most of the time with the same teacher, we're getting into poses and we always go the same way into the pose, and when we get into a habit, we forget to actually feel or see, and I mean seeing from inside, how this pose is for us, how we're feeling into it, if it's good, if it's bad, it's just comfortable. So it's really important to explore. So maybe make that your today's intention is to explore. And again, I cannot see you, but what I find very interesting with the online classes is that in the safety of your house, you can actually, if I tell you to reach your arm like diagonally and you're like, okay, well, but I want to see what it feels like this compared to this. So you go ahead, you can do that in my classes as well, I don't care, but I'm just saying it's just a nice opportunity. So with our feet solidly planted on the floor, and I want you to really press your feet down. So for a moment, let's lift the outside of the feet. So we're coming onto the inside. You will feel maybe something into your knees. You might feel that your hips close up a little bit. And then the reverse, coming onto the outside of your feet. So again, you might feel, especially the pubic area, opening up. And then let's come onto our toes just for a moment. And then let's come back onto our heels and just lift the toes. So not the cushions of your toes, but just the toes, and feel the arches. So we kind of touched every part of your feet. And I know that I've been paying a lot of attention to feet in my last weeks of teaching, but it's really your base. That's where you connect with the earth. If you're not standing strong on your feet, the rest of your body will have to compensate. So press your feet down, lift your kneecaps up, activate your quads. So just that lower part of the body, very strong. Probably your bum muscles are also going to get active. And then take a deep breath in. And without having paid any attention to your upper body, see what has changed. If you don't remember what has changed, just release everything. Release your knees, release your quads. Just smack down on your feet, and then you will feel that you're kind of collapsing. So just standing strong on your feet, on your legs, is going to activate your core so that you're solid in the center. It's going to lift your chest, and then release your arms to the side. Taking a deep breath in, lengthen your neck. So the back neck is going to press onto the skull. Your chin is going to gently come forward towards your chest, very gently. And for now, today we're going to press our arms down. So keep your shoulder blades going down, but also bring your shoulders down. And open your fingers wide. So you're going to open your fingers so wide that you feel a stretch in the palm of your hands. Are you still standing with strong legs? Still breathing? And then for a moment, close your hands. Put your thumb inside of your fingers and make fists, but keep your arms long. And then open again, and then close. So a few times like this, just to activate our fingers. And then release. Bring the palms next to your body. We're going to inhale, reach the right arm up. Reach up as high as you can. Press your feet down, especially your right foot. So the arm that's lifted, that foot you want to have coming down. And then inhale, and then go slowly towards the left. And then come back up, change sides. So inhale, reach the left arm up, press the left foot down, take a breath in to lengthen your spine, and then go over. And then come back up and exhale. We're going to do that at the rhythm of your breath. So inhaling up, exhaling, folding over, inhaling up and down. So let's do this one more time each side. So gently opening the side of our body. Last time. And exhale. Now bring the feet a little bit closer, probably as wide as your hips. So the hip width is the hip bone going straight down at the center of your feet. And we're going to inhale and reach the arms up. And then press your feet down, lift your fingertips up. Exhale, bend your knees. So try not to bring the knees together. Try to move the knees in the direction of the center of your feet, so your toes. Inhale, reach up. And then exhale, open up your arms to the back. Inhale, reach up. The knees stay bent. Exhale to the left. Your knees also stay parallel to each other, so we don't want to twist into the hips. It's not about, yes, I can bring my arm all the way back. It's about finding that twist in the spine. So continue with your breath. Inhaling up, exhaling down. And then next inhale, lengthen your legs, reach up, and same thing, exhaling. So now you're gonna have to control your legs, your knees a little bit more, that they really stay in line. And one more time each side. And then inhale, reach up. And exhale, bring your arms in the back. Interlace your hands, roll the shoulders back, elbows back, and then lengthen your arms. And we're going to really lengthen the arms so we can open the chest. Open, open. So you're reaching down. If you have the flexibility into the shoulders, and that's really depending on how your shoulders are built, you can start to lift your arms up a little bit. Watch out that you don't compensate with your neck. So keeping the neck in line with the spine, strong legs. Inhale. And then release. Bring the arms to the front, interlace the hands there, turn the palms towards the front, and as if you're pushing a wall away. This time you can bend your knees so that you can really get the power from your feet all the way into your hands. Chin goes slightly towards your chest, opening the upper back. And then inhale, press into your legs, lengthen out, reach your arms up. So your palms are still, your fingers are still interlaced. We're gonna reach up, press your feet down, and then inhale, come onto your tippy toes. And then as you exhale, you're gonna bring your arms forward, interlace. You're gonna start to bend your knees, staying on the tippy toes if possible. Going as deep as you know that you can come back up. And then press into your feet as you inhale, coming all the way up. And exhale, release. Make a few rolls with your shoulders just to release, like even if we just did just a few movements, we always feel it. And then coming back, changing direction, and then coming back to center. So your feet as wide as your hips. Let's bring the arms to the side and now make circles with your arms. So different than this where you just move the shoulders, here you're really moving in the socket. So feel just the shoulders moving. And again, watch out for your neck. You will feel tension if you start to bring your head forward. So realign your neck with your spine. And then bring the arms to the side and then make circles with your wrist. So don't bring the arms bent, like keep the arms straight, circles with your wrist. Change direction. And then press the heels of the hands away. So bending at the wrist, press, press, press. And then bring the fingertips down. See if you can go, maybe reach your lower arm, maybe not, probably not. And then release. So shake it up. So warming up the legs a little bit, separate your feet. So not too wide, we're just gonna bend side to side. So keeping the shoulders on top of the hips so your upper body doesn't move. Your feet are solidly planted into the floor here. So you just wanna move and just have a look as you bend your knee. It should really be moving towards your toes. And then coming back to center, and again, feet as wide as your hips. So we're gonna come into our Tadasana. We've done a Tadasana with wider legs. So now coming to your Tadasana. So your choice, big toes together, heels apart. If you need knees touch here, or if you need a bit more stability, then you separate your feet as wide as your hips. So lift the kneecaps, activate the quads, feel the core, lift your chest, shoulder blades down, arm alongside, long neck. Take a deep breath in, and a long breath out. Bring the hands onto the hips, coming onto your left leg, and then bend your right knee and lift your right knee at the height of your hip. And just for a moment, we're gonna make some circles with our ankles here, and then point and flex. And then keep your foot flexed and place your right hand on your right knee. So if you want to go a little bit further, you can grab your big toe with your peace fingers and stretch out your legs. So I leave that to you. By all means, hold onto a chair or the wall if you need more stability. From here, let's open the right knee towards the right and keep your foot flexed. Don't twist into your hips. So maybe you don't go as far as you were hoping to, but that's it. So sometimes we just have to accept where we are. If you're here and you stretch out your leg, watch out that you don't lean forward. So you can keep your knee bent if you're doing this. It's a little bit more balance work. Or you can stretch out your leg, whatever works for you. So by all means, and then coming back to center and release. So always finding our mountain pose in between. Taking a breath in and a breath out. Find the strength into your right leg, standing leg. Lift your left knee, left hand on your left knee. Right hand can stay onto your hip. And then start to open up towards the left. Press into your standing leg. So don't sink. You're going to have way more difficulty to balance. And again, if you want to go a little bit further, you don't have to stretch out your knee here if you're not there yet. But it's just an exploration, maybe, of where we are. If you're here, make sure your standing leg stays your support, and then coming back to center and release. So very often I hear from people that, oh, balance is not really my thing. So I can't see you, I don't know how you're balancing this, but one of the muscles that is needed is the hip stabilizer. So the hips have like a lot of muscles coming to it, and then they have ligaments, and they have all kinds of things. There's a lot of things. If ever you study anatomy, this is a lot of work. So one of the really good exercises for balancing is, we'll do it now. So you're gonna stand onto your left leg, and we're gonna bring the right leg to the side. Your toes are pointing forward. So maybe you already feel something working into your hips, maybe your inner thigh, and then open your foot. So you're opening your hip actually, the inside of your foot is showing forward, and then we're gonna kick a ball. So it's that movement that soccer players do, but it's also a movement that you will see very often in ballet classes. So why? Because they need to be able to balance. So in this you can do as you wait in the supermarket or in many lines that we are waiting these days. So just working this movement. And then coming back, foot is still lifted, lifting up, and then coming down. So we are going to do some balances today. That's why I want to work this a little bit. So hands onto the hips. So don't have your hands like moving all the way. If your balance is not the greatest here, by all means, hold on to the wall and do the same thing. So we are focusing on the hips here. Balance is a number 2 pose. So first of all, toes are pointing forward so that you can stabilize your hip, and then you just open your foot a little bit and then you start to kick the ball. I have a creaky floor underneath me. And then last time, and then lift your leg up, point your toes back to the front. Maybe you can go a little bit higher, and then come back and shake it up. Okay. So we're gonna start to fold forward a few times. Coming to the front of our mat. Again, legs into Tadasana. Taking a deep breath in and a long breath out. So find your mountain pose. And then come with your fingers into the hip crease. And very gently. So your fingers are going to push back. Your legs are strong, but you're going to allow your upper body to move forward as you press into your hip crease. So if you're pressing onto your hips, there's not a lot that's going to happen. Then it's more the brain telling the body to move. So really just press. Let the upper body relax. Let all the commands out, but just press. So with this, we have a straight back, neutral lower spine, and then let's come back up as we inhale. So we're going to do this 2 more times with the breath. Take a breath in, exhale forward, inhale up, exhale press and forward, inhale up. So and by doing this, we always protect the lower back. So now we're going to inhale, reach our arms up and overhead. And see if we can find that same spot without our fingers to go forward. So don't go too far. What is going to work now, to keep the lower spine neutral, you're going to have to engage your abdominals. So if you feel that you start to round your spine, that your belly button goes in, come up a little bit. Inhaling up. So same place, neutral spine. Reaching forward. Inhaling up. One more time. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. And exhale, release. Inhaling, reaching the arms up. And as you exhale, so you're gonna swan dive forward, meaning you're gonna keep your spine straight as long as possible. And then when you feel that your hamstrings are at their limits, you're gonna start to bend your knees. My lower back is still straight. I'm gonna start by dropping my head, rounding the upper back, and then you can round the whole upper body. So from here, bend your knees as much as you can so that your fingertips are on the floor. Drop your head, relax your head, maybe shake yes, no, maybe make a few rounds with your head. Take a breath in and release in the hips. So we hold a lot in the hips, which is okay because we need them for stability. But now we want to be able to release. And with the weight of the upper body, release, release, release. Press your fingers down. See if you can lengthen your legs a little bit more. So wherever you are with how much bend there is, if need be, by all means, take a block, take an encyclopedia, whatever to bring you a little bit higher. Inhale, exhale, release. So every inhale, maybe lengthen the legs a little bit more, and then exhale, fold forward. Now we're going to take our hands and bring them at the back of our legs. So we want to lengthen our legs this time, but never ever do you want to feel pain in the lower back. So if the lower back starts to say high, even just a high, you are bending your knees again. So bring the hands behind your legs. You're going to pull your upper body a little bit closer. Only pull with your exhale, so when we can find release in the body. So it's a gradually moving towards your legs. And then start to bend your knees, lengthen your spine, and then inhale, press into your feet, and come all the way up. And exhale. Placing the hands onto the hips. This time, take a step back with your right foot. So you can have quite a big step. We are going into warrior one. So your front foot points forward, your back foot slightly out. You're on two rail tracks. Your hips are parallel with the front of the mat. Your legs are still straight for now. So take a breath in, roll the shoulders back. Exhale. Press the back foot into the floor. And then very slowly, as you exhale, continuing to press that back foot into the floor, start to bend your front knee. So if your knee starts to go over your heel, walk your foot a little bit more forward. So eventually, your front thigh is going to be parallel with the floor. Press the back heel down. If you feel that your lower back is curving, meaning that your vertebrae are compressing, press your tailbone a little bit down. With this, probably your knee is going to bend because it's a big stretch in the quadriceps. So again, explore, where am I? And maybe it's okay to have a little bend into the back knee so that you can slowly start to work on stretching those quadriceps. They have to be strong, but they have to be stretchy as well. So it's finding that balance between the two. And then inhale, reach your arms up. So I know for some people, reaching the arms up and having them next to the ears, I'll just turn around for a moment, is like almost closing off the chest. So if that's the case, by all means, come into cactus arms so that your chest can remain wide open. This is generally more applicable for men because they like to do push-ups, and so their chest muscles are really shortening. And we need to be able to breathe in yoga. So we need to open, stretch those chest muscles. So wherever you are. And then if you want, you can even interlace your hands here, point the index up, strong legs. So don't come up in your legs, but keep your foreleg bent, your back leg super strong. You can come slightly back. So here the tailbone might have to go down a little bit more just to protect your lower back. And then coming back into the center, lower your hands to your hips, and then let's move to the other side. So we're just gonna twist to the other side. So right foot comes forward, adjust your back foot so they're on two tracks. First of all, press the back foot, the outside into the floor. So if you feel that your hips are still moving like this, lift your back heel a moment, and with your hands, place your hips parallel with the front of the mat, and then put your foot down. It's a good little trick. Roll the shoulders back. Take a breath in, and then slowly start to bend your front knee, so your right knee. Maybe again you have to walk forward. Inhale, exhale, strong back leg. So press the knee back, like the knee is really going down, and then you press down into your foot. Here you bring the thigh forward, and then you press down into your foot. And then for a moment, let's see if we can compress the legs back to center. So without moving anything, we want to, as if you wanted to move your 2 feet together, but we're just doing it internally. So hopefully you feel that. Otherwise, it's a good thing to explore. So it's that bringing back to the center and then releasing and maybe going a little bit further. And then inhale, bring your arms up. So again, choose a position. If you really want to have your arms up, despite the fact that your shoulders are closing up, see if it makes a difference if you bring the palms forward so that your armpits are really facing the front. Continue pressing into that back foot. And then if you want to go into a back bend, you can do it with your hands here. You can do it in cactus, or you interlace and then you go back. So your arms remains next to your ears, your front leg remains bent, strong feet, strong legs. Breathing. And then release and come back to center. So this time bring the feet wider than your hips, toes pointing out. We're just gonna go open the hips a little bit. So I know this is probably not, for many, not their favorite pose, but it's a really good hip opener. So toes pointing out, let's start to bend the knees. You can keep your hands onto your hips and slowly go down. Once you're down, if your heels are lifting, it's fine. If your knees are hurting too much, sit on something. We can do the same thing here. So wiggle to a comfortable pose. Eventually your toes are going to be pointing forward. Heels and toes in line. But for now, we can keep it here. We're going to inhale, lengthen the arms, and then open the chest. So to open the chest, we'll have to get to a straighter back. Inhale, and then bring the palms together and then press a little bit more into your legs. Keep on breathing. And then release your hands, place your hands to the front, and then we're just gonna move from side to side. So as you press your hips to the left, you're lifting your left heel, and then you press your hips to the right, you're lifting your right heel. So just do that a few times, moving a little bit, being very mindful of your knees. And then coming back to center, keeping the left heel lifted, place the left hand flat on the floor, left wrist underneath the left shoulder. And then press your left arm into your left leg and open up towards the right. So right foot is flat on the floor and we want to lengthen our spine and maybe we can move back a little bit. So opening here, twisting, opening, inhaling. You can look up if you want to. And then slowly coming back, placing the right hand on the floor, wrist underneath the shoulder, lifting the right heel, and then the leg is going to push into the arm and the arm into the leg. And then as you inhale, reach left arm up. And explore. If this doesn't feel good, and most of the time you will notice that your breath becomes very staggered or non-existent. So explore, where is my spot? Where can I go here? It doesn't have to be like I'm doing it. It has to feel good for you. Maybe not too comfortable, but good. And then exhale, coming back to center. Placing both hands now down. Lift your heels up if they're not lifted. And then bring the heels in line with your toes. And then start to press into your hands and lifting your hips up to the sky. So your hands are flat on the floor, so at a certain moment, you're gonna hit that maximum stretch for your hamstrings. So that's where you're gonna stay for now. And then exhale down. So keeping the feet as they are, we're gonna walk our hands forward. And then press into your hands, and we are in a wide-legged downward dog. So explore a little bit with your hands how far you want to come. We're gonna see if we can lengthen out our spine by pressing our hips back, pressing into our hands, And now see if we can straighten out the legs. If this is really like mission impossible, why don't we spread out the legs a little bit more? And maybe we'll get a different feeling. Maybe your downward dog, your wide-legged downward dog, just need a little bit more space between the legs. So we're definitely not in a traditional downward dog. We are opening a little bit more into the hips. It's a very different feeling. The only common thing is the long spine. Press into your head, roll the shoulders out, and then slowly walk your hands back. And heel to your feet out even more. So we're gonna go into a very wide stand. The toes are slightly pointing in. And again, if you don't reach the floor, take a block. Or, because we're gonna use the legs anyway, you might hold on to your legs. So wherever, but your legs are straight. So hold on to the legs. And then as we did in the beginning with the forward fold, hold on to your legs, drop your head, drop your upper body, and move forward. Inhale, exhale. And then bring the hands back on the floor. Walk your hands towards the right. So you're gonna lift your right heel. You're gonna bend your right knee and then lift your left toes. So your left leg is straight. And here again, this is balancing, but it's also opening the inside of our thigh. So if you're quite stable, so I'm sitting on my heel, but that might not be accessible for everybody. So maybe you have to hold your hands really planted onto the floor. We want to open the thigh. If this is not possible for your knee, then you're just going to go sit down on the floor like this and press your heel away. You're going to feel the opening as well. Okay, so there are some options. If your balance is good, maybe you can straighten up. Maybe you can place your hands onto your thighs. Maybe you can bring your hands in front of your heart. Don't forget, the main pose is opening the left thigh. The rest is just play. And then bring your hands down. Press into your right foot to come up. And then move to the other side. So we're moving slowly as usual, but we're working hard. So left heel is lifted, right toes point towards the sky, long right leg. And one side feels maybe very different than the other. And again, maybe your balance on this side is better or not. Don't forget, your whole body has to work. So it's not about just hanging in the pose, but activating the core, opening the chest, and then very slowly we're gonna bring our hands towards the left so that we are twisting and bring the hands at the front of the mat. Our left knee is bent, our right leg is long. Press your heel back, walk your hands just a little bit back. So first of all, we want to find that length. So when you come into the pose, most probably you have a round spine. So you want to find that length. Press your heel back. If you need more stability, by all means, bring your right knee down. Otherwise, let's inhale, lift up, lift the arms up. Exhale, maybe go a little bit deeper. So feel the stretch and the strength into the legs. Exhale, hands to your heart. And again, you need more stability, come onto your knee. Inhale, lengthen, and then go for a twist. So first, we're going to twist towards the left, and then we start to fold forward. Right elbow comes on the outside of the left knee. Palms together, and then opening up. I'll show you on the other side. So a long spine. Strong back leg. And then coming back to center. Walking your hands towards the other side and finding your lunge. So first of all, let's find the right length for our feet. Press the toes down, press the heel back, tailbone goes away. Front foot presses down and then lift up. And inhale, all the way up. So long back leg, strong back leg, feel the stretch into your quads. And again, if you need more stability, drop your left knee and exhale, hands to heart. And I'm showing you my back again. Sorry. So left elbow on the outside of the right knee, and then lift that right elbow up. Press the left elbow into the right knee. Long back leg. And then exhale, come down. Both hands down. Bring the right leg back. Come onto your knees and come into child's pose. So you can choose wide-legged or knees together, whatever works for you. Just make sure your forehead can rest onto the floor without creating too much of a bend into your neck. And then take a few deep breaths in. Don't hesitate to exhale through the mouth. So bring the arms in the back. Dropping the shoulders. And let's inhale, reach the arms forward. Roll the shoulders out. So the inside of the elbow is going to try to reach or to point towards the sky. But you're going to continue to press your thumb and your index into the floor. So finding that opening into the upper back. Rolling the shoulders out, pressing the thumb and the index. So that's just the only thing that's moving for the moment. We're still into our child's pose. So and that's how your arms are in downward dog. So and again, explore, why do I have to roll my shoulders out? What happens if I roll my shoulders in? I'm gonna touch my ears with my shoulders, my chest is gonna close, and you'll notice it in the full downward dog. You will have a little bit more difficulty to lengthen out your spine. So rolling the shoulders out. And then inhale, let's come to the front. Let's bring our forearms onto the floor. So you want to have them elbows underneath the shoulders, and your elbows are always as wide as your shoulders. So don't go wider. You're gonna probably sink, and you will need much more muscles to hold you up. And plus, we're gonna open the shoulders, so you're gonna stretch muscles that maybe don't need that big of a stretch. So take a breath in, tuck your toes, and then lift your hips up. So that's the first step, lift your hips up, keep your knees bent, and then press your mat away with your forearms. Your head is gonna come in between your arms. Your spine is long and neutral. Inhale, exhale. If you want to have a bit more sensations, number 2, lengthening the legs. But the focus is on opening the shoulders here. So it's a big, big shoulder opener. Dolphin pose. And then release. Bring the knees down. And bring your hands, your wrists underneath the shoulders. And just move a little bit with your upper body, so moving the shoulders a little bit. Maybe making C's with your spine, so looking to the right, pushing the hips to the right, and then reverse, and then coming back to center. Let's inhale, lift the tailbone up, drop the belly button. So just that movement, keeping the rest of the spine where it is. Exhale, drop the tailbone, bring the belly button in. And do this a few times. So just finding that movement. Go slowly so you can go and explore how far this can bring you. So tilting in the hips, bringing awareness in your hips. Because in many of the asanas, of the poses, the awareness of the hips is going to make a whole difference in how you experience the pose. And then coming back to neutral, and this time let's go for 3 rounds of cat and cow, so the full pose. So exhaling, tailbone down, belly button up, press into your hand, and slowly start to round your spine, and then your chin comes to your chest. So press, press, press into your hands, and then as you inhale, from the tailbone, belly button goes up. Curve the whole spine, and then automatically your neck is going to become long, and you can look forward. 2 more times at your own rhythm. And then coming to neutral spine. We're gonna take the right arm and place it diagonal, the forearm comes diagonally on your mat. So your right elbow is underneath your right shoulder, your right hand points to the left corner. And then you separate your knees as wide as your hips. And we're gonna lift the right leg. And then grab your right foot, your right ankle, your pants. If this is not possible, you keep your left hand on the floor. So from here, we're gonna lift the thigh up. So opening that front of the groin area, the quadricep, with a little bit more support from our forearm. Lift up a little bit more, and then exhale, release. Coming back onto all fours. If you need to do some movement here, just do it. And then left shoulder on the floor, underneath the left elbow on the floor, sorry, underneath the left shoulder. Left fingers going to the right corner. And then we're gonna lift the left leg up this time. Grab your foot, grab your ankle, whatever you can grab, and then lift up. And then slowly come down, and then again onto all fours. We're gonna continue with the forearm. So right forearm comes on the floor. So this time you can place it perpendicular with parallel with the front of your mat, or gently bring it a little bit to the right. We're gonna bring the right knee in line with the right elbow, and then bring your right foot out for stability. Your left foot is going to be flat on the floor to start. So your left hand is still on the floor, and now very slowly we're going to start to open up the left arm to the sky. So maybe your hips are still facing a little bit too much back. So lift your leg up and press your hips forward. If you find this really challenging, sometimes it's less challenging to come onto your hands. So what do you want to do today? Do you want to go for a little bit exploration? Or working on where you usually go? So side plank, press your hips forward. And then coming back. Coming back to center. I'll just turn around to show you my back again. Go onto the left forearm, left knee, in line with your left elbow, right foot comes out, and then open your hips, reach your arm up, and maybe lift. So press your hips forward, don't sink into your upper body. Flex your right foot. And then slowly coming down. And exhale, press yourself back into a child's pose, but really pressing, so long spine all the way, keeping the hands at the front. Think about downward dog arms. Inhale, roll the shoulders out. Press the thumb and the index into the floor. And then let's inhale, reach forward. Bring the hands at the front of the mat. And we're gonna do again the same. Press into your hands. This time we won't be into child's pose. Our heels are not gonna touch the floor, but we're gonna lengthen our spine. So Starting to feel, to add a little bit more to our downward dog. So press the thumb and the index into the floor. Roll the shoulders out. And then lengthen your spine. So most probably your belly button is going to go in a little bit to activate this whole lengthening of the spine. Press your hands into the floor. Every exhale, push your hips a little bit more back. Neutral spine, so it's not about sinking or rounding the spine, it's a long spine. And then inhale, come back up. And then we're gonna go into plank. So plank is gonna give us an indication of the right distance for our downward dog. So strong arms. Press your heels back. Bring the tailbone towards your heels. Long neck, so neck part of your spine. Activate the core here, otherwise you're gonna sink as a banana. And then press into your hands and start to lift your hips. Your head comes in between your hands, like we did in dolphin, but now on our hands. You can, by all means, bend your knees if your hamstrings are short. No pressure, no pain, nothing in the lower back. So you should almost think it doesn't exist. Roll the shoulders out, press into your hand, and find that same length again into our spine. Inhale, exhale. You can walk your dog a little bit if you want to. Again, it's your practice, so what do you need here? And when you start doing, are you doing it because you always do that? Or is it really what your body needs now, what you want to feel? And what do you want to feel? I know lots of questions. And then bend both your knees, and again, lengthen your spine. Roll the shoulders out and bring the heels a little bit closer to the floor, maybe. Inhale, exhale. Let's inhale, come back onto our plank. Press your heels back. And now bring the eye of the elbow, so the inside of your elbow really to the front. This is going to allow, as you come down, bend the elbows back. So reverse push up, maybe you crash, that's okay, don't worry. Coming all the way down. Untuck your toes, and then bring the hands at the height of your breast. So often we bring the hands at the height of our shoulders, and then we don't have really a lot of space for our chest to bring forward. So hands are there, fingers are wide open, elbows pointing back, and then gently press into your hands to come up to a certain height. See if you can hold it there without pressing. As soon as you start to press, most probably your shoulders come forward, so keep the shoulders going away and find that length into your chest, reaching the heart forward. Lots of work in the lower back here, and then come down. Take a breath in, and a breath out. Separate, bring your hands to the side, so your elbows are in line with your shoulders. You bend your elbows and you come onto your fingertips. So and then watch out that you don't roll the shoulders forward. So keep the shoulders going flat. Press the tops of your feet into the floor, your legs, and then with your fingertips, keep the chest open and see if you can lift up. So practicing the muscles into our fingertips, into our fingers. So make sure you breathe, bring the shoulders back, and exhale down. And then bring the hands again under the shoulders this time. Tuck your toes and make your way into your downward dog. So few ways to get there is pressing into your hands and going to your knees, or pressing into your hands, your plank, and then lifting up into your downward dog. Inhale, exhale. Let's inhale, let's lift the left leg up and bring the left foot in between the hands. Bring the right knee down. And we're gonna bring the right wrist underneath the right shoulder, reach the left arm forward. So create that length in your spine, sink into your hips. And then reach the left arm up as you start to rotate into your spine and turn your palm to the back. So strong supporting arm, long upper body, reaching up. And then coming back to the front and release. Placing both hands down or on your fingertips, lift your back knee. And now pop your left foot a little bit more forward. So we're gonna go into half moon pose. So it's a balance pose. Make sure you have something to support yourself, whether a block, a blanket, a block, a chair. So we are in our lunge here. Our front knee is bent, and we're gonna, first of all, start to lift the back leg. So you might think it's like a forward fold, the one that we do quite often. Press your back leg back, strong back leg. The front knee, the left knee can be bent for the moment. And then with your support, whether that's a chair or a block, or if you want to do it on the floor, we're gonna start to lengthen our left leg and then bring the right hand onto our hip. And then from here, we're gonna turn our toes towards the front. So opening the hips, stacking the hips on top of each other. And when our shoulders are on top of each other, then we can reach the right arm up. So half moon pose is quite a difficult pose, and I'm going to show you an alternative in one moment. I hope this feels good for you. It's really a work in progress. It's a really, I don't know, for me it's a really fun pose to be in. Because it's required strength, stability, so you cannot really think about anything else. And then very slowly bring the right foot next to the left and come up. So if you're like, what the heck is she doing? So if you have a wall, you can do this pose against the wall as well. So again, by all means, we can go all the way down, but very often we don't have that opening of the leg to go and keep our upper body in a straight line. So that's why we use a block or a chair. So if you want to use the wall, you come very close to the wall, and then you can start the same thing. So bend your front knee, place your hands, and then you're really smacking yourself against the wall, and that's your support. Flex your right foot, and that's where you are. And then you can start to lower down. But you see my leg has to remain in line. So that's why most of the time we use a support. So even if you're really high, or even just your elbow, it's all fine. It's much easier with the wall, just say. So we're gonna go to the other side. So let's start in our lunge. Your back heel is lifted. And then bring your hands onto the floor, maybe hop your back foot a little bit closer. Walk your hands forward, take your support. So for you, it might just mean going to you don't have to move to the other side of your mat. I just want to be able to show you. My front knee is still bent. It's giving me a little bit more stability as I'm lifting my back leg up. My foot is flexed, my leg is active. And then slowly I bring my hand onto my hip and I start to open up. So your leg becomes straighter here, your standing leg. And side is a little bit more challenging for me. And then reaching your arm up. So pressing your hips forward, same as we did in side plank before. So pressing your hips forward, flexing your left foot, reaching up, and then slowly coming down, and then coming up. So this was the challenge of the day. But as you can feel, it requires a lot of concentration. And concentration is just connecting with your whole body. It's not necessarily like, oh, my little toe has to stretch out. It's just feeling like gradually the connection that happens into your body so that you can connect everywhere. So it's a balance pose. Although we're standing on our hand and on one foot, it's still considered a balance pose. It's definitely not a natural toes for us. So let's come back into our Tadasana. Taking your breath in and a breath out. And then we're gonna inhale and reach the arms out, strong legs, same as in the beginning. And then exhale, bend your right arm, bring it in the back. So you wanna be able to walk your hand as far as possible without, like I'll exaggerate here, without pressing your head forward. So you need to create a little bit more space, which means maybe to bring your elbow a little bit more out. And then depending on the length of your upper arm, if it's going higher than your head, then you have space. If it's lower than your head, then you have to adjust even more. So lift the left arm up and then press your left hand onto your right elbow. And now really open those armpits to create that space for your head. Watch out that you don't press the floating ribs forward. So tuck your tail just a little bit if you feel that. So that from your feet, you still have that amount of those feeling all the way to your head. So, and this can be enough for you if you want to move further. Open your left arm to the side, turn the palm to the back, and feel your shoulder moving. And then maybe interlacing, maybe touching. So I'll just turn around. I can just touch here, maybe not, maybe yes. So again, exploring, what can I do? Can I create a bit more space into my shoulder? What happens on my left shoulder? What happens with my floating ribs? And by all means, if you have a strap or a belt, you can hold it here. Big shoulder opener. And then release. And exhale. Let's inhale, bring the arms to the side again. And we want to create that length in the arms. And then bend your left arm. So walk your hand back. If you have shoulder injuries, or also just depending if you're left-handed, right-handed, the sensations on one side and the flexibility might be very different. So walk your hand back and then bring your right hand on top of your left shoulder. And then open up your armpits and press it gently down. Inhale, exhale. If you want to go further, open the right arm, turn the palms towards the back. It's not just in the wrist, it's the whole arm, the shoulder. And then reach for your hands. So opening the chest here. Feeling a nice stretch. So if the stretch is too much, maybe you back off a little bit. If you feel the stretch and you're like, okay, this is it. I can still breathe, but if I go further, can't breathe. So stay here, a couple of breaths, and then maybe go further. So and don't sink into the rest of your body. You want to keep the whole body strong. And then slowly release and shake it out. Coming to the front of the mat, taking a deep breath in, bring the arms alongside, however the hands are gonna come. Neck is aligned with the spine, and then inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, long spine, so hands on the tibia, on the thighs, on the floor. Lengthen your spine, neck part of your spine, reaching your heart up. Stay here for another breath. And then exhale, fold forward. Bring the hands down, and now bring your right foot back for warrior two. So back foot points to the long side, front foot to the short side, and then inhale, wiggle your arms into warrior two. So that requires core. So if you're here and you need to support yourself, do so, but don't do the 100% support onto your leg. Like, let's work these abdominals a little bit. So just in case you need to fall down, place your hands, but don't put all the weight. And then opening up. Exhale, bend your front knee. So front knee doesn't go over your front heel. Outside of the back foot, strong into the floor. Inhale, and now we're gonna bend the front elbow. and bring the front elbow onto your front leg. So don't go onto the kneecap, just above, and then reach your arm up and overhead. So we just open the shoulders, so maybe this feels a little bit more comfortable. Maybe you can go a little bit deeper. So reaching forward, so that same length, that's when we were in half moon pose, that same line, but of course we're supported now. If you want to go further, you can bring your left hand down onto the floor, bend your knee a little bit more maybe. Your hand can be on the inside or the outside of your leg. So that's really depending, and then we're going to try to open up our chest a little bit. So don't lean forward, but really lean. So if this arm is too much for you to the front, keep it there, but see if you can create that length. And then reach your right arm up, bring your hand again onto your elbow, and now we're going to go into a bent leg triangle. So bring the hand down, you don't need to touch here, so lots of work into your leg, and then very slowly start to lengthen your left leg into your full triangle, opening up. And then coming up. Exhale, warrior two. Turn the front palm, inhale. For 2 more breaths here. And then coming back. Press into your feet, bring your hands onto your hips, and let's turn to the other side. So normally there shouldn't be any adjustment, just turning the right foot, right toes towards the short end, left toes towards the long end. Reaching your arms out for your warrior two. So coming a little bit deeper, bending the front elbow. So we're not falling forward. We're really just moving in between 2 walls, bringing the arm onto the leg and then reaching your arm up and overhead. Bending the knee maybe a little bit more. Maybe bring the hand down, opening up. So opening the chest so your upper shoulder goes back a little bit. And then coming back up, elbow onto the hand, reach your right arm up, and then bend leg triangle for 2 breaths. And then at your next inhale, start to lengthen your front leg for the full expression of the triangle. And slowly coming back into your warrior two. This time we're gonna lift the back heel up, reach our arms up, and then exhale, bring the hands down and come into your plank. You can do knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga to come down, and then inhale, cobra, or upward dog to come up. And then let's come into our downward dog. We're gonna do pigeon. I know someone is smiling now, so let's inhale, exhale. Let's lift your left leg up, bend the left knee, and bring the left knee behind the left wrist. So, or even out of the left wrist. Walk your right leg back as much as you can. Your right foot, you want to make sure that it's more or less 90 degrees with your lower leg. So the further the back leg, the lower you will be. If you're really high, I suggest strongly to put some pillows or blankets underneath. So better to have something soft than a block who's going to be hard and who's just going to not allow you to stretch your muscles. So we really want to find something that is, especially if you're falling over. Like if you're stable like this, even if your bum is not touching, that's fine. And then for a moment, let's roll the shoulders back, come onto the fingertips and open up. If your knees hurting, go onto your back. And do the number 4, I'll show you in a minute. So from here, walk your hands forward. Again, you want to have a long neck. So if you're reaching the floor with your forehead and your neck is bending, take a block, take something to put it underneath, make a pillow with your hands, whatever works. Otherwise, reach your arms forward, place your forehead on the floor. And then just relax here. You have to be able to breathe. So if your knees are hurting, if you have any injuries, then you're gonna cross your legs. So right leg is bent, open your left hip, left knee, place just above the ankle, just above your knee here, and then bring your arms, your hands behind your thigh, and gently press with your right leg to open your left hip. You can also gently press with your left hand onto your left knee and then go further. Don't lift your lower back. So really stay focused on the lower back being on the floor, and I mean the sacrum staying on the floor, so your lower back can remain neutral and you get a little bit more stretch into the hip. Maybe you don't come as close as you want to be, but it's your choice. What do you want? Do you want to open the hip or do you want to round your spine? So choose what works for you today. Again, the whole weight of the body is onto your knee here, so be very careful. Find that wonderful stretch of the pigeon. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And then slowly walking your hands back, tucking your back toes, and then coming back into your downward dog. Do any dance, any move that you need to do. Again, go into your body and feel like what would feel good. Explore it. Even if you don't know what would feel good, just move in a way that you're like, very consciously. And then lift your right leg up, bend your right knee, and place it behind your right wrist. And then again, walk your back leg back. I have a knee injury, so I will see how far I can get into this pigeon pose. I have to get back into it, and I want to thank Heather to remind me, because I have been avoiding this pose for quite a long time because of my knees. So sometimes if the pain, we think that there will be pain, we avoid it, but might just need a little stretch to get back and enjoy. It was one of my favorite poses. So roll the shoulders back, long back leg, and again, find all the support you need by sitting on something. Inhale, and then slowly start to walk your hands forward. And you really want to release here. So this is a pose that you can do if you listen to music or podcast or whatever. You know, you can stay here for one song on one side and then one song on the other side. And just letting go slowly. Eventually your foot will be at the same height as your knee. Long way to go, maybe not into this life. This is also a very good pose if you have sciatica. So if you have sciatica, if you can do this, do it, or do it on your back like I showed before. And then slowly coming back up, coming back into your downward dog. And again, moving as you think, as you explore, might feel good. And then for a moment, let's take our full downward dog. So pressing the thumb and the index into the floor, rolling the shoulders out, lifting the hips, long spine. And then pressing your heels down. Inhale, exhale. And then coming up to our knees, and let's move our legs to the front. So let's bring the soles of the feet together. So if you need to sit on something, please do. Bring the soles of the feet together. So you don't have to bring the heels all the way into your groin. See what's comfortable for you. So everybody's hips is built differently, like bone-wise, built differently. So for some people, bring the heels into the groin is like super easy. Maybe also their knees are just gonna fall out. So everybody's different. For some, it's just how the femur fits in the ball of the femur fits in the hip socket. So that's different for everybody, and how big the hip socket is or how small. You know, with shoulders, when they say the shoulders fall out, it's because the shoulder socket is a little bit more wider. And so this movement is just very easy. So the muscles need to work around it. So you choose where you can be sitting comfortably, you're sitting straight, hold on to your ankles, hold on to your toes, whatever, as long as you can keep your spine long. So take a deep breath in, lengthen your spine. And then start to bend your elbows. And to start, we're going to keep our spine straight. So maybe you don't get very far. Bend your elbows and press into your knees. So if your hips are very flexible, your knees might be on the floor. So this might become a little bit more difficult if you don't have the flexibility to move forward. But most of the time, the two go together. So you'll be able to move forward. And then start to bend your back, going towards kissing your toes. Pressing your elbows into your knees. So don't go to the place where there is pain in the lower back. So you feel a stretch in the lower back, most probably here, but no pain. So you really want to be very careful. And then for a moment, send your exhale to your hips and see if you can release a little bit more, because our hips are conditioned to be strong, and we want to send them a little bit of time off. So just let them release. And as you connect more and more with your body, you'll be able to really sense a release order, to say so, towards different parts of your body, as much as we can strengthen parts of our body. But since this is not a natural way of doing, like our brain is not programmed to release in the hips, we have to do it very consciously. One more breath in, exhaling, and then slowly coming up. Placing your hands on the outside of your knees and then bringing the knees together. Now you're going to separate the feet wider than your hips, and your feet are to the front. And then you can lean into your hands, and we're going to bring the knees towards the right, and your left knee is going to come right behind your right heel. So see if you can keep your shoulders facing forward, creating a little twist, and maybe your right knee or your left knee is not touching the floor. And again, it has to do with your hips. So there is a part that we can work on flexibility, but there is a part that's constructive. And then move to the center and then move to the left. So this is, the left leg is now going in outward rotation. The right leg is going into inwards rotation. So if the right knee is lifted and the left knee is on the floor, you know your inward rotation is weaker than your outward rotation. Weaker not in the sense of bad, but it's not just so flexible. So you want to maybe work a little bit more on that and then move to the other side and then just move from side to side. And then coming back to center. So with your knees bent, we're going to go to the floor. Start to round your spine, hold your hands behind your thighs, slowly going down, going down, going down. And then bring the knees into the chest and hug your knees and just stay here for a while. If you feel the need to roll from side to side, again, is it a habit to do that, or is it just to really feel something in your body? And it's not a judgment that I'm doing. I want you to become aware of how many movements, whether it's on our mat or off our mat, we do out of habit and we don't question. We lost that curiosity of our body, and our body can do so much. And then lengthen your left leg, and for a moment, hover the left foot above the floor. So your leg is strong, your heel is pressing forward, your toes are pointing up, and you're hovering above the floor. So you don't drop it down. Of course, if you're tired, you drop it down. And then bring your right knee into your chest. So creating space in, again, the hip, but in a longitudinal way. Right foot is flexed, left foot is flexed. Press your left heel away, bring your right knee a little bit closer. And then bring the left knee in, change sides. So hands around your left knee, lengthen out the right leg, press your heel away, hovering. And then as you exhale, bring your left knee in. So again, that lengthening in the right leg. And then bringing, almost as if you would lengthen out your left leg, it might look like a split, or maybe not yet. Always continue to have humor as you're doing yoga. Smiling is relaxing, so it helps your body as well. And then coming back to center. Placing one hand on each knee and start to make little circles to release a little bit the movement we just did. So your knees are guiding the movement. It's not the muscles of your hips or your thighs, and then changing sides. And then placing both feet down, opening your arms in a T. We're gonna press our feet into the floor and bring our hips towards the left of our mat. So our shoulders have not moved, our feet have not moved, it's just the hips. So we're kind of in a banana. And then lift the feet, bring the knees at the height of your hips, and then roll over towards the right. So now your hips should be stacked on top of each other, much easier than if you would have kept your hips in the center. Press your left shoulder down. You can bring your right hand on your right thigh if you want to. If you're really far from the floor, place a block, place a pillow. And releasing with your exhale. And then slowly coming back to center, placing your feet down, so in line with your shoulders. Press your feet down into the floor and move your hips over towards the right of your mat. So go as far as you can, and then bring your knees at the height of your hips, lift your feet and move over to the left. Right shoulder comes down. Knees remain at the height of your hips. So if you bring your knees higher, you're going to round your spine. If you bring them lower, you're going to curve your spine. So maybe you want to round your spine. Maybe that's what feels good for you in this moment. Like we're at the end of our practice. So really do yourself a favor. Find the place where you can relax the most. And then very slowly with your inhale coming back to center, placing the feet on the floor, realign your body. And then bring the arms for your Shavasana. Lengthen out your left leg. So reach your heel as far as you can to the left corner. Lengthen out the right leg. Reach your heel as far as you can to the right corner. And then let your feet flop out. If you feel there is a lot of tension and holding still in the shoulders, press your head into the floor, roll the shoulders back and bring the shoulder blades down. So with that, you might feel that you're too open or too much on the shoulder blade. So wiggle a little bit till you find a place of comfort. And then let's take a really deep breath in. And as you exhale, Feel how you can settle, how you can trust the floor and release. And maybe you have to do that 2-3 times. So really deep breath in and release. And then just be . In the comfort of your home, stay here as long as you want, especially if you're tired. You might want to take 5-10 extra minutes here to allow your body to absorb your practice and to release more and more. If you're ready to start your day or to jump into bed, wherever you are, take a breath in and a breath out. And bring the legs together slowly, wiggling the toes, wiggling the fingers, making some faces, smiling, fronting, like whatever feels that will wake up your face. And take a deep breath in, reach the arms up and overhead. So stretch out as much as you need in this moment. Maybe you're just like, I just want to feel the length of my body. I don't need to feel my muscles stretching. I just want to feel the length of my body. And as you exhale, bring the knees into the chest. And again, stay here if you want to stay here, or roll over to your right side. And stay here if you want to stay here. And then gently, slowly coming up into a comfortable seated position. Keeping the eyes closed. Gently tuck your chin. And for a moment, connect with your heart. With your breaths. With your body. And your mind. And I have one wish. And I'll keep on repeating. I wish that each one of us finds inner peace. And that once we found that inner peace, we can share it with the rest of the world. So that this world becomes one big world of peace, at peace. Thank you so much for sharing your practice, for sharing your time and your energy. Thank you so much for being there for you. I wish you a wonderful weekend. Namaste.